Home from Hampton, Virginia. All participants are muted.
Well.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Freedom
Hey, good
Call
evening.
on Wednesday night. Mr. Ty Best is live.
Hey, good evening, Miss Sheila Abrams. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Darlene Best.
Has started.
Good evening, Christopher Shaw, Bay, Pam Washington. These are folks coming in on the live stream. Of course, folks, you know we're streaming live on Facebook right now. So, hello. Good evening, folks.
We can hear you.
Okay. I just thought somebody was trying to dial in. Oh, so good evening, everyone. Anyway, welcome to this live stream tonight. Of course, I've been thinking about this all day, and I called it, What Horse Are You Riding? And thank you, Miss Sherry Brown. I want to thank Mr. Sumter and family, Pam Washington, Dion Stevens, Greg and Dion, James Head, Maxine Jones, Talisha Moore, Kwame Benta, Diane Ship. Thank you. Congratulations, Ms. Diane Ship. Congratulations for achieving rank this past month, Mr. Ricardo Hamilton, Mr. Lenny Bones, Albert Watkins. Thank you all for joining us. Thank those who are listening on the Freedom Call line, and welcome all those who are on the Facebook line. Man, I tell you what, I got so fired up today with Bishop Bonner's message, and I wanted to sort of recap. I heard it 3 times a day, and I'm not going to get this right, but boy, I just wanted to sort of recap some of the things he talked about and related to our business and related to our life, because he unloaded a wealth of wisdom this evening. I mean, just a wealth of wisdom this morning for those who are listening. Good evening, Mr. Michael L. Dowco. Good evening, Reggie Scott. Good evening. And I just wanted to touch base on those things. Man, he covered some points that were, to me, worthy of being like 1-hour sessions just on attitude. I mean, for those who didn't hear it, go back and hear this. Go back and hear it. But I'm going to try to cover some things. And I had the bullet point stuff, so I'm going to do the best I can tonight. But I'm going to try to have this relate to our business and what we do and to your life, okay? And you know I spend most of my time talking about attitude. Well, the first thing he covered right in the beginning, of course, is what I call Matthew chapter 13. He covered that right away. That didn't have anything to do so much with what the horse you're riding on, but I still wanted to touch on it because he taught Matthew chapter 13, folks, says, a prophet's a prophet, saving his own home and his own country. Meaning that you'll recognize and appreciate it a lot of times when you're away from home. Familiarity has a tendency to breed contempt. And sometimes it's hard for us to hear a message from our best friend, from our relative, from our brother, or our sister, or our cousin. I know I have a lot of relatives on this call tonight, on this stream. I saw my baby sister, one of the first people on the live stream tonight. So, and sometimes there is Dr. Terry Lorraine Best, my other sister. So sometimes it's very difficult, but I'm not going to spend a lot of time on that, but always be aware of that. So when you're out sharing this message, and my other sister, Mr. Deborah Best Baker's on the call, on the live stream, when you're out sharing this message with your family and friends, sometimes we have to be patient with them because it is not our natural tendency to listen to people that we're close to. It's just the way it is. Psychologically, we're not geared that way. It's hard for us to, and my mother's also watching. Well, good evening to my mother, Margaret Best. Good evening to Miss Linda Johnson Spence. We're going to be in Raleigh, North Carolina on Saturday with Miss Linda Johnson Spence. So, good evening, Pastor Simmons. Pastor Simmons, I know we was going to do our 5 or 6 F's tonight, but I got so far I had to talk about this. Let me get back on track. So anyway, keep that in mind when you're sharing with me. That's why I make this statement all the time. I said, love everyone, but wait on no one. Okay? But anyway, he goes on his second point. He said, birds have the ability to fly anywhere in the world. Anywhere in the world, but they don't. Now, that's a profound thought. One of God's creatures has the ability to fly anywhere in the world. We, as human beings, we have the ability to fly anywhere in the world too. But many of us don't. We have the ability to soar on ambition level, financial level, spiritual level, but we don't. But we do have that ability. And we also have that ability to change. Okay, in order for us to do those things, we must change the way we think. And that's why I spend so much time on attitude. Because this business we're doing, it's not complicated. We're not doing rocket science. We're not doing rocket science. We're not doing brain surgery. This is a very simple business. Hey, Margaret Best. Hey, Daryl Matthews, Fatima X Coles, Stacy Gray, Doug and Stacy. How you doing? But the thing that stands between us and success, especially financial, because most of the time we're talking about financial on our wealth builders calls, is what's going on in between our heads. So we talk about all those things. He also made another point. He said the race is set. God said He set a track for you to follow, but you must follow that track. We have a track that we can follow in life if we just continue to move forward. Good evening, Mr. Thompson. Good evening, Ms. Rita Harris, Mr. Grady Holcomb. But we don't move forward. We have a tendency to get stuck. We have a tendency to get on the track, and we'll go on that track around and around in circles because we refuse to change, to try something new, to try something different. Good evening, Mr. Harvey, for Franklin Cameron. I say all these folks who are joining. Good evening. But your race is set. But the thing is, we must move forward in order to see what God has in store for us. But a lot of times we get stuck in life. We get stuck in a relationship. We get stuck in a job. We get stuck in a routine. We get stuck watching football every Sunday. We get stuck watching basketball every weekend. We get stuck and we don't change. But we have the capacity to change, but we don't. But the key in order to accept that change, folks, is to keep moving forward. Keep going through challenge after challenge, adversity after adversity, wait a minute, and good time after good times. Because sometimes we can get stuck in the good times. Many of you heard me say that an enemy of success can be success itself. Now, success is a relative term because success is a progressive realization of a worthwhile dream. If your dream is to be a school teacher, then you are successful. If your dream is to be an airline pilot, then you are successful. If your dream is to be a professional athlete and you get that done, you are successful. So success is relative, okay, as to what you want and what your dreams are. But when you get that dream, in order to move forward, you must develop another dream. Don't get stuck because maybe your dream is too small. Maybe your dream was to be a firefighter and you got that done. But have you ever thought of what God's dream is for your life? God's dream would be something greater for your life, but you don't know that if you don't seek. If you find yourself stuck in some occupation, say, you know what? I got a good job. I got tenure here. Or I got so-called the illusion of security in this good job, and I'm going to stay right here for the rest of my life. You may not be comfortable, maybe a little bit uncomfortable for you, but you feel like you're going to stay in that job. So you don't start preparing yourself for the next opportunity. You start preparing yourself for the future track that's been laid out for you to succeed. You don't start preparing yourself to pursue your passion. Okay? But now, we start saying, so you're on this horse. You're stuck on this track. You've been riding the same horse for 5 years, 10 years, 20 years. Or maybe you've been investing in the same thing or the same idea or the same people. Bishop Bonner said this morning, he said, if you're investing your time and energy in the same people, in the same things, in the same product or the same service, and it's not changing your life, it's not serving you well, you don't see a measurable result, a measurable change in a reasonable time, it's time to ride a different horse. And that's why I wanted to entitle this talk, What Horse Are You Riding? For many of the seniors who've been or on this call who are already 55 or 60 years old, I know some of you have been riding the same horse for 25 or 30 years, and you're here because you realize, I may have been riding the wrong horse. But nobody told me I was riding the wrong horse to take me to my dreams. So the first thing you got to do really is to get a big dream. See, if you don't have a dream, then you don't even know you're riding a horse. You may not even understand you're in a game. You may not even understand you're in a race. So first thing is to get a dream, and then you ask yourself, is the vehicle I'm on, is the horse I'm riding, can it take me to my dream? Good evening, Mr. Rodney Roach. Man, that team unit up there, turn it up, man, turn it up. Good evening. Ronald Smith, good evening, good evening. Glenn Perkins, good evening to you. And so you must ask yourself, what horse am I riding? Now let's talk about this for a minute, because I'm going to get to networking, but I want to talk about life in general for just a quick minute. Now, I was fortunate in the fact that I had these big dreams. Don't ask me. I don't know where they come from. I give my mother and father credit for some reason. I just say they instilled in me, there's something in me to say that I could do anything. I got this instilled in me very early from my mother, my parents. I got it instilled in me from one of my elementary school teachers. Read my book, the Dream Chaser Manifesto. I talk about how I had these dreams very early. And so these dreams always pulled me forward. That's what your dreams would do. You may not get all your dreams, but they pull you forward. Then when you have these dreams, you start saying, it's so simple. Like you say, you want to go to New York and you're going to take the train to New York. And let's say you live in Virginia, wherever you live from, your destination is New York. And you got to find a vehicle that would take you to New York. Well, you could walk there, you could hitchhike there, you could take a train there, you got to take a bus there, but you at least got to find a vehicle that would take you where you want to go. I want to become wealthy. I want to become independent. I want to be free. I didn't want to boss anybody around. I want to be free. So I knew I had to find a vehicle that would get me there. So I started looking at a very early age. And the first thing I was told was that college, I needed education. Because the more education I got, the more successful I would become financially and the better chance I had of becoming financially independent. So I had to get education. Now in America, that's the vehicle that we're sold to a better life. We're sold that vehicle to a better life. And I'm here to tell you, folks, I believe in my heart that education was the key to a better life. I believe education is still a key to a better life, but not necessarily the traditional education that we've been led to believe. I believe you must become informed. I believe you must read books. I believe you must educate yourself. Not let the system educate you, because I believe the system has designed to prepare you to hop on a vehicle that will not necessarily lead you to your dreams. It will prepare you for a job. It will prepare you to keep a roof over your head, maybe, but it will not lead you to your dreams. The educational system was designed to create workers. And many of us go through the educational process, and then we do what? We jump on that horse. That horse is called a job. Now, I know I'm preaching to the choir. That's why I say invite your friends and relatives on this call, because they don't understand. That's the horse they're riding. Now, at one point, I will admit, maybe in the 50s and 60s, you could jump on that job horse. And America had a promise to the worker. America had a promise to the common man that if you got a halfway decent job and you worked that job for 35 or 40 years, you could retire with dignity. You could retire with maybe a pension. You could retire with the government have set up certain programs like Social Security that would take care of you, and you can live out your final years in life with dignity. And some people jumped on that job horse and they rode that job horse for 25, 30, 45 years. Now that's okay if they didn't have a dream. But I submit to you that we all have dreams from the day we're born. We all have dreams. That dream has to be taken out of us. So we have to be sold not to pursue that dream, not to pursue that passion. So I don't want to spend too much time on that. I'm saying, but that's the horse that so many people have been led to ride. And they're still being led. I watched a program yesterday that said that the education system right now is tantamount to extortion. What the education system is doing for a lot of folks is almost criminal. I mean the college educational system. I don't mean please hear me out. I'm saying you got to learn to read. You got to learn to write. You got to learn to think. Okay? But there is something inherently wrong in a system that acquires a person to go get an education, led to believe now that you must get an education if you're going to have a good job, if you're going to have a quality life in America, and that's just not true anymore. It's just not true. And how good a quality life you're going to have if you go get an education. When you finish your 4 years of education, you are saddled with $200,000 to $300,000 of debt. You're no more than an indentured servant. The program I read today talked about how education has gone up in the last 20 years over 1,000%. The only thing that's gone up 1,000% in America is the salaries of the administrators of these major institutions. True story. That's truth. And the educational system as it's set up in America, the college educational system is the only place in America, is the only business in America where you can contract for a service, okay, buy a service, buy education that's ensuring you a better lifestyle, ensuring you a better job, and it is the only business in America where the company that's selling and marketing you that idea, that product, that education is not held accountable for the results. I'm going to say that one more time. It is the only business institution in America where it's not held accountable for the results. If you bought a car and that car don't work, the manufacturer is held accountable. When you buy nutrition products that don't work, they're held accountable. When you pay for electricity, whatever you buy in a business relationship in America, if it doesn't live up to your expectation, that business is held accountable. The college education system in America that sells you the horse about getting education, getting a good job, is the only institution not held accountable. You finish your 4 years and they say, go find you a job. And if you are unable to find a job because the education is worthless, the school does not reimburse you your $200,000 because you did not find a job. It does not compensate you for your inability to find a job even after you got that degree. It does not compensate you because you got a master's degree or a doctorate degree and you can't find a corporation that will pay you commensurate to what you thought that master's degree, that doctorate degree, or that undergraduate degree is worth. Now, I'm a little bit off point, but I'm making a point. But we are sold that horse all day long, every day through television. Please, I'm not saying drop out of college. Go get education. But I'm saying understand what you're getting. You're paying for education with no guarantee of the results of what you're getting, and you'll end up $200,000 in debt. And that is the truth. Don't get mad at me for saying it. And I'm saying as a person with education. I got 4 years education, praise God. My wife got 4. My sister on this call, she got a doctorate degree. So I'm not poo-pooing education. I'm saying understand what you're paying for. Okay? Because if I went to the car dealership and they said this car might break down, it's probably going to break down. It may not get you where you want to go. Okay? Number one, I'm not going to buy the car. But if I did buy the car and they gave me the warning right up front that it may not get me to my dreams, it may not get me to my destination, chance I'm not going to buy the car. But if I buy the car anyway, I'm the fool. Anyway. So what horse are you riding? Now, if you got an education, some of us wake up. I got the education. I was riding that horse, man, for about 90 days. And I said, this horse is not going to take me where I want to go because I wanted freedom. Some of you come to that conclusion at 25. Some of you come to that conclusion at 30. Some of you don't realize the horse is not going to take you where you want to go until you're 55, 60, 65 years old. And maybe some of you don't realize it because you don't have any place you want to go. If you don't have a dream or go to a destination, then you don't even realize you're riding a dead horse. Because you don't care because you're living for the weekend. You're a paycheck player. They said a paycheck is what the job gives you so you will forget your dreams. They give you a paycheck every Friday, 2 weeks a month, so you will forget to what? You will forget your dreams. You'll forget pursuing the thing that you're passionate about. You'll forget about living the life of your dreams because, you got bills to pay, which everybody does. But when you're young, folks, you know what? You got the energy to give that job 40 hours. And if you manage that 40 hours right, manage that money right, it will set you free. You got to pay a price. You got to sacrifice some things. But that time, that energy from 18 to 40, if you manage it right, it'll set you free. And once I understood freedom, I said, okay, I'm not riding the right horse. I started looking for another horse to ride. And first I thought it was traditional business. I really did. And many of you who listen to this call, you're in traditional business right now. I'm telling you, folks, please just go talk to a traditional business person who has a traditional business before you launch out in that traditional business and get you a brick and mortar store that you're so proud about and you pat your chest on because your name on the door. Your name is on the door. Your name is on the building. You went and borrowed $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 to put your name on the building and you're so happy about it. Talk to the person who's already done that. Talk to the person that already owns the restaurant. Don't get all immersed and excited about a restaurant because you now got one. Go talk to somebody who's had one for 5, 10, 15, 20 years and ask them will they do it again. And I'm here to tell you, in most cases, they'll tell you no. They'll tell you no. Most traditional business people will tell you no. Tomorrow night, we're doing a call with Dr. Tim O'Dea. He and I talked about it today. Tomorrow night, we're doing what we call the professionals, the healthcare professionals empowerment call. Tomorrow night at 11 o'clock. Well, 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Tomorrow night, the healthcare professionals call. Why they're in care bars. And no one can speak to that better than Dr. Tim O'Dea. Because let me say, you've gotten education, you've gotten a good job. You might even be a professional. You might be a doctor, a lawyer, a super accountant, whatever you may be. But the one thing many of them lack, they got the money. Dr. Tim O'Dell will be the first one to tell you, money, not a problem. Money, not a problem. Most doctors you talk to, they'll tell you they're doing okay because they're riding a horse that will pay them a decent living, a decent amount of money, and they can put away a little bit of money. But the thing that average doctor, lawyer don't have is freedom. And a lot of times, folks, they don't even know that freedom is possible. They don't even know it's possible that you can find a business, no brick, no mortar, no building, no employees, no place you got to go. You work in your pajamas most of the time, and that business will pay you $100,000, $200,000, $300,000 a year from home. I was introduced to this business, this vehicle, in 1983. It ruined me for a traditional business because I said, I'm on the wrong horse. But I already knew after 6 years in the job, I knew I was on the wrong horse. You know why? Because they told me 95% of people with a job would be dead or broke at age 65. It made no sense to me why I would work a job for 45 years to wake up broke at 65. Made no sense to me whatsoever. Okay? Why'd I take my whole life, the most precious thing I got is time, and give that up to work a job? I don't care how good I look on the outside. I don't care if it took care of me Monday through Friday. On the weekend, I get to play, but during the week, I'm doing 40 to 6 hours on that job. And then the fact that somebody could walk in there and fire me anytime they want to. That was the horse I was on after my educational background. I mean, great job. Don't understand. It was a great horse. Okay? Depends on what you're comparing it to. See, if I'm riding a mule and you riding a donkey, you say that's a great mule. But if I'm riding a mule and you're riding a thoroughbred, I'm going to say, man, I need to get off this mule and get on that thoroughbred. But you riding that thoroughbred, you on Secretary, you rolling. You on the greatest horse to run the Kentucky Derby 3 times. I mean, done run the Kentucky Derby, Belmont Stakes, the Preakness, a Triple Crown winner. Man, you rolling until the Ferrari rolls by. And you say, wait a minute, I got to get off this horse and get in a Ferrari. See, it's all relative. It depends on what you want. Now, I submit to you, 95% of people in America are not happy with their job. They're waking up every Monday through Friday or Monday through Saturday or Tuesday through Saturday, but they're working up 5 to 6 days a week doing something they don't want to do. I'm in the grocery store line today. I got my cap on, free gold. Guy standing there, he said, man, look, I'm on the phone. At that point, I'm on the phone. I'm doing the 3 on the phone, standing in the grocery line. See, you can do Carabaos 25 days, 7 days a week. What horse are you riding? I'm in the grocery line. I got a basket full of groceries. This guy in front of me said, excuse me, sir. What? He said, how do I get free gold? I said, man, I'm glad you asked. I said, guys, hold on 1 second. I can't remember who I was doing the 3. I don't know if it was Stephen or somebody. I was doing the 3 with somebody. I said, guys, hold on 1 second. I said, hey, look, let me show you. I put out my card. I said, this is how you get free gold. I said, go to that website right there and tell you all about it. It'll tell you all about it. I said, let me ask you a question. How old are you? He said, 14. I said, man, you can't even get in. Why am I talking to you? He said, my mama can't get in. She looked with that degree of skepticism on her face. I said, stop. Don't start telling me what you can't do. I said, just don't. She said, I don't say I'm going to do it. I'm working 3 jobs right now. I said, you don't even know what it is. But see, that's a young man with a dream. He's curious. You're not even curious. You're riding 3 dead horses at one time with no end in sight, got 4 kids. How long do you think you're going to be able to work those 3 jobs? I said, here's my card. Look at the information. If it makes sense to you, get back with me. Okay? Some of you are riding a dead horse in your job. And then some of you or riding a dead horse in your profession. Oh, it's a well-paying profession, but the fact of the matter, it still might be a dead horse. Especially if you expand your dream, you start asking yourself, how can I make $100,000 a year and be in my pajamas? And there are people doing it. I'm one of them. Okay? And I'm not that smart. I'm not that bright. But I was sharp enough when somebody offered me another horse at 28 years old. I said, well, let me see what this horse got to show. Let me see what this horse got to do. It sounds fast. It was a 2 to 5 year plan versus a 45 to 50 year plan. It was no guarantee. It was just a plan. So I jumped on that horse in my spare time. Every spare minute I got, I jumped on that horse. Now watch this. I rode that horse for 10 years. Bishop Bronner said something, man, it sent shivers down my spine. He said, sometimes when you get on a horse, you don't want to let it go. He gave reasons why you don't want to let it go. But, I'm saying, man, I wouldn't say it was a dead horse. It was a dead horse for me. Oh, I made a little bit of money. I grew. I mean, my income on my job tripled from the time I got involved in the business because of the personal development stuff I was exposed to. I didn't know anything about reading a personal development book, How to Win Friends and Influence People, The Magic Thinking Big, Thinking Rich, all those things I got exposed to when I got exposed to the networking profession, and it changed me. So I was growing as an individual. I was growing as a person. It straightened me out. It took the nonsense out of my life, the partying, the playing, the having a good time, and it made me focus on something serious. It made me focus about building a legacy, about getting free. I started learning things. So I grew as an individual and grew a little bit financially. I grew a lot financial on my job, but it still was not, the job was not the vehicle to take me where I wanted to go. And that vehicle, after 10 years, I realized it was not the vehicle to take me where I wanted to go. Now, understand something. Some of you heard what Bishop Bonner said. You need to give that vehicle you're with a measurable change after putting forth a reasonable amount of effort in a reasonable amount of time. Some folks right now get into a networking opportunity, give it 6 days, so it's not working. No, that's not a reasonable amount of time. Some of you get in the business, you're half-hearted about the business from the time you got in. That's not a reasonable amount of time. So I can sit here and honestly look you in the face and say, for that 10 years I was doing that opportunity where I say that might have been a dead horse for me. Okay, at that time. The time wasn't right for me, for whatever reason. Okay. I say it was a dead horse because I gave it everything I got. I can look in the mirror I say I gave it 5 and 6 nights. I sacrificed all kinds. Not I. Excuse me. My wife and I made all kinds of sacrifices. I mean, we invested in every seminar, every book, every trip, every meeting, every conference. We did everything we could, and we learned a lot. We learned a tremendous amount. And believe me, leaving that opportunity was like tantamount to getting a divorce. I mean, it took some gut-wrenching, soul-searching to say, oh, my God, I'm riding the wrong horse. I didn't necessarily have the confidence to just say I'm going to go out and jump on another horse. And I did everything he talked about, man. He talked about some stuff. He said, what people do. Let me see. I got some notes. I'm way off track, but I got to read some of this stuff. He says, when the horse is dead, some of us, we want to switch horse. He said, but some of us, before we switch horse, we'll try a new rider. We do a lot of stuff. We try to resuscitate the horse. We try to get a horse sugar. We do everything we can. Some of us, if you're determined, because you don't want to quit, you don't want to give up. And so you ride that vehicle, Some of you have been doing the same job 5, 10, 15 years, expecting a different result. No. It's not going to be a different result. They can give you that same 2 to 3% raise for 25 or 30 years if they let you keep the job that long. And we know that's not happening anymore. I mean, I know this seemed like a neighbor, but I want you to evaluate, understand the horse. I'm talking to folks who are not in Caraboss. I'm not talking to the folks in Caraboss. You understand, man, you're not on a horse. You're on a jet plane. You're on a rocket ship to your dreams. That's what Caraboss represent. And I can tell you that because I just said I rode a horse for 10 years. Took me 10 years to dismount. Bishop Bonner said, dismount. But I didn't want to dismount. You know why? Because I believed in that horse. That horse birthed me into this industry. I believed in the horse. I had hope for that horse. I loved that horse. I didn't want to give it up. My wife didn't want to give it up. But and by the way, wait a minute. Not just didn't want to. We didn't know another horse existed. We saw no other horse to ride. We saw no other vehicle to take us to our dreams. But the minute we saw another vehicle that would take us to our dreams, folks, we were gone. And I mean a real one. I don't mean we was going to do a little bit of this and a little bit of that, 1 foot over here, 1 foot over there. We say, you know what? This vehicle is not going to take us to the dream. We got to find another vehicle. When we saw the other vehicle, we went in that vehicle, and we did in 2 years what we hadn't done another vehicle in 10 years. But that 10 years, I'm going to tell you, this is Bishop Bonner again. He says, all work is good work. The stuff we learned in that 10 years is why we've never had a problem making $100,000+ a year in this industry since literally since 1993. We said we done. We took all that stuff we learned in 10 years of sitting at the feet of masters in this business. Okay, thousands of years experience. We took it all. And we've had no problem. It's been a piece of cake. We took all those principles, all that knowledge, all that information, all that know-how, and every time we hopped on any vehicle, it was like, boom, let's go. Okay? But it was hard. So you might be a doctor out there with your chosen profession. You said, man, I done invested $500,000 in my education. I've been in a profession for 20 years. Nobody says you have to give your profession as a doctor or educator or whatever it is you may be doing. Okay? But if you ever desire freedom, you have to open your mind and find a vehicle that would take you to freedom. You must jump on a horse that will deliver freedom. And not every vehicle will. And that's just the facts. This right here, folks, if your goal is freedom, if your goal is to finally get time and money under control, I'm telling you, based on my 35 years experience, I've never seen anything like it. I've never seen anything like it. But you must be willing to change. And that's why some people still on the same horse. Yeah, the job may not deliver you to your dreams, but what keeps you there is that it's comfortable. It does require change. You don't have to grow. You decide you want to get in Karatbars. Oh my God, you got to cut the computer on. Oh my God, you got to get on Facebook. Oh my God, you might have to text somebody. You don't want to do those things. We don't want to change. But the fact is, you may not want to, but the fact is you can. And as Paul Zane Pilzer said, the only security you have is in your ability as a human being. The only true security you have is in your ability to learn, to change, and to adapt. So I encourage you, if you've been riding, I'm talking to the guests, if you've been doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result, they said it's insanity. If you're on some vehicle that haven't delivered your dreams and your goals and your aspirations, it's time to dismount and find another vehicle. But first, make sure you're giving that vehicle all you got. I'm talking to the networkers now. I'm talking to those who've been in Karatbars for 3 months. So I gave it all I got for 3 months. That's not enough time. That's not enough time. It's enough time maybe for Mr. Dalco. Okay, but see, you watch this. You got to put our story in perspective. Mr. Dalco, 103 days, quit his job as a mortgage banker. That's a great story, but you got to get the backstory. Listen to him. Hear the whole story. Don't hear 103 days. Here he spent 15 years in the industry, plus 103 days. Don't discredit his 15 years in the industry. I spent 10 years in the industry. Then I got in a program that made sense. The marketplace was right. The horse was ready. I jumped on the horse. I knew what to do. I was an experienced jockey, and I got on the horse, and in 21 months, I was free. Because the vehicle at the time was perfect. Same thing with Mr. Dalco. He'd been in the job market for 15 years plus. And when he hopped on this vehicle called Karatbars in 103 days, he was free. I'm telling you, some of you are dragging this thing out. You're dragging it out. It doesn't have to be dragged out. You can be free in 90 days or 6 months, but you can't drag it out if you're tiptoeing. You can't drag it out if you're halfway on the horse. You can't drag it out if you jump on the horse every now and then. You got to jump on the horse. You got to learn how to ride that thing, baby. And you got to ride it to freedom. You got to ride it like your life's at stake. Okay? Understand, this is it. This is the ultimate plan. Big Boomer said to me 5 years ago, he said, all roads lead to Karatbars. That's the absolute truth. Now, for a new person, you may not understand. You may say, well, I got this nutritional thing over here I'm doing. It's just as good as Karatbars. It can't be. You're doing that nutritional thing to get money. Our product is money. Okay? It's just that simple. That's not deep. Which would you rather have in your garage? $5,000 of a lotion, a potion, a pill, a travel voucher? I don't know what it is, or would you rather have $5,000 of gold? The answer is always gold. Would you rather have $5,000, which comes out to be plus probably $1 million of cryptocurrency, or $5,000 of lotion, a potion, or a pill? I got nothing wrong with those things, but Karatbars is way up here, and everything is down here. This is the horse. And this time, this marketplace right now, Karatbars is the #1 financial vehicle on the planet for those who are seeking financial freedom. I'm not saying seeking money. There are other things you can do to get some money. But where can you find yourself making $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 a month and sleep to the crack of noon? Wait a minute. And the income doesn't get turned off. The income keeps growing and growing and growing. Where can you literally find yourself in a business where you actually could walk away and never do the business again and your income continue to go up? We've had people pass away and leave their entire business. I'm talking about $80,000 to $100,000 of income to their family. That's Karatbars. You can't do that with your medical practice. You can't do it with your dental practice. You can't do it with your law firm. You can't do it with your construction business. Because if your spouse not an expert in that particular field, they can't do it. If they're not licensed to be an accountant, they can't be one. If they're not licensed to be a doctor, they can't be one. Now, that's the truth. This is it, folks. If you ever wanted freedom, and I don't care what anybody tell you, nothing takes the place of freedom. Nothing takes the place of freedom. But you must be prepared for an opportunity. How do you prepare? We said, don't save for a rainy. Thank you, Mr. Dalco. We said, we ain't care about, we don't save for a rainy day. We save for a great opportunity. We save for the next opportunity. Because I'm going to tell you something. Mr. Harold Sykes, the financial genius that we have as the CEO of our company, that's the difference in my mind of all these things out there. Okay, the head of this thing is Mr. Harold Sykes. He's proven over the last 5 years he is unmatched in this field of creating income and opportunity for people worldwide. Okay, and he has something up his sleeve next. Let me share something else while I'm on this point. The biggest challenge most of us have, one of the challenges many of us have, is we come into the business and we don't dig our well before we need the water. We ride that dead horse, but we continue to ride that dead horse as long as we can dismount for the weekend and play. As long as we can go on our cruise once a year or twice a year. I'm stepping on toes. I mean to. Okay? We party. Okay? We don't see the business, a lot of times, this business, until our house is on fire, till our house is burned down. Then we say, wait a minute. I'm about to be put in the street. I'm about to lose everything I ever worked for. Or I have lost everything I worked for. And then they come into Karatbars or into the network marketing business and want to save them in 2 weeks. Or want to save them in 90 days. It's just not fair and it's not right. Karatbars and any other network marketing is a legitimate business out there. Okay? And it will not undo in 90 days what you've messed up for 20 years. It won't do it. But here's the beauty. It will change it though. But maybe not in 90 days. It might change for 90 days. Depends on the situation you have going on. It could change it in 30. There are people coming in Karatbars right now this month who are on track to make $10,000 their first month in Karatbars. That's not hype. That's just the facts. Facts can be documented, facts can be proven, facts can be shown. They don't like to show this stuff on Facebook. They don't like to tell folks that we got people in Karatbars making $20, $30, $40, $50, $100,000 a month in Karatbars. Man, if we can sure about our back office, this thing there'll be millions of people coming in every month saying, what? We're still the best kept secret in the world. And people don't know it. Don't wait until you don't have any attorney. Don't wait till your bank account is dry to say, now I want an opportunity. Save me. Save me. Okay, get started now. Dig your well now. If you got a great job, you're making $100,000, $200,000 a year on a job, now is the time to run. Now is the time to build your business when you don't have the pressure and there isn't any incentive, any burning fire you got to put out to do this thing, folks. And trust God and believe that you have been prepared to do this thing. Put the blinders on. Put the blinders on, man, and go for this thing. I mean it. But I'm going to say this. The hardest thing you may ever do will be to change. But it also will be the smartest thing you will ever do. Find that thing you are passionate about. Find that thing you have a passion about. My passion was not selling soap. My passion was not selling pantyhose. It was not selling lotion. It was not selling lipstick. It was not just hating my job. My passion was not laying around the house doing nothing. My passion was freedom. Okay? My genuine passion for me was freedom. For me, for my family, for my brothers and sisters, relatives. That motivated me. That fired me because this was the only path I saw to freedom. Was true freedom. Where you have time and money. Last night, Monday night, I went to bed at 1:30. I woke up at 4 o'clock to take Val to the hospital. I didn't have to call the boss. I didn't have to check in with the staff. I didn't have to I didn't have to run by the office, make sure I didn't have to do anything except wake up in the morning, get Val ready to go to the hospital. And as we checked into the hospital, 5 a.m. in the morning, I'm watching all these people scary into work. I'm saying to myself, oh God, therefore for the grace of God, I thank you, Lord. I'm not trying to preach to you. I'm just saying, I'm talking about me. You got to be who you are. I'm talking about me. I said, man, you have no idea how thankful I am and humble I am every day by just the freedom that I enjoy. As I watched the doctors, the nurses, the administrators scrambling there at 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning, as they started prepping Valerie at 5 o'clock for surgery at 7, as I saw the surgeon, I mean, thank God there's a surgeon. Thank God there's a nurse. Thank God there's for those administrators. That's why I say everybody can't be in Karyabos. Everybody won't get free. Thank God there's people to do those things. But man, I'm sitting there the whole time and I'm thinking, oh, devil, for the grace of God go out. Because I mean, I did it that yesterday, but I can't imagine having to do that 5 and 6 nights, 5 and 6 days a week. And thank God the surgery went well, and they called me at 9:30. Val was done. I'm still exhausted, but I'm so excited about Karyabos. I still didn't go to sleep the whole time she was in surgery. I'm down there texting people, reading stuff, getting stuff ready for the day. Man, I'm just having a ball on the phone. Because as long as I got my phone, I can do business 25 days, 7 days a week, any place in the world. Thank you, Mr. Harold Sykes. We're in 141 countries. How you going to compare that to any mom and dad brick and mortar shop on the corner? Can't compare. Okay? And then it was so exhausted, went by IHOP to get breakfast. This is a lifestyle of freedom, folks. I said, we can't go in there and eat. I'm too tired. She just had the surgery. I went and ordered breakfast. I had ordered breakfast. I'm going to be back. I'm going to the car and take me a nap. Went back to the car and took about a 25, 30-minute nap. Then I went and got breakfast, brought it home. Then we ate breakfast. And then Val passed out and went to sleep. I'm still jacked up, so excited. I still couldn't sleep. I'm on the phone, and I kept on working clean up until about 12 o'clock last night. I took a quick nap about 7, woke up, went again to about 12, and finally last night I slept from about 1 to about 7 this morning. I've been rolling ever since 7 o'clock. That's freedom. That's freedom to do what you want to do. And so, folks, that's why this, to me, is the ultimate vehicle. And yes, I'm going to be straight up frank with you. I probably make more money in a month than most people make all year long. That's the facts. Okay, not bragging. Again, devil, for the grace of God go I thank God. And by the way, and even right now today with that income, I guarantee I'll work 95, 97, 90% of people in the business. Why? Because most people, their dreams not that big. Their dreams not that big. They put Karyabos on the back burner. When they get around to it, in between golf and fishing and hunting and TV and the NBA playoffs and all that kind of stuff, they'll get around to Karyabos. And they wonder why. A year later, they wonder why. Why is this guy making 10, 15, 20 grand a week? And I've been the same time he's been in, I'm only making 5. Whereas the level of commitment, focus, and watch this, and grace and blessing. Because you got to put forth the effort and work too in order to get the grace and the blessing. There are so many serendipitous things happening in this business. I'm not saying it's all me, but I'm saying you got to be out there planting the seed. You got to be working. You got to be hustling. You got to have your grind on. And you got to have your grind and your hustle on with the right attitude, not with a sourpuss face. You got to be smiling and grinning. You got to be shaking hands. You got to be meeting and greeting. You got to be prospering everybody you know, because you never know where your next VIP is going to come from. You never know where your next Lewis Young going to come from. Your next Rodney Roach, your next Brian Battle. You don't know where your next Sheila Abrams going to come from. Your next Maxine Jones, your next Rodney Berger. You don't know who they are. You cannot determine the size of a person's dream by looking at them. And I submit to you that everybody has a dream. They may not believe. And it's our job to help them believe. And my hat's off, Mr. Harold Sykes. Man, you got to get his book. I'm telling you, I know it's $43. But I'm telling you, that book is worth every penny. Because you're not buying 200 pages of paper, man. You're buying a man's life. He's telling you why he has this compassion for people, why he said to go to liberate people all around the world. Mr. Lake, what time is it, man? I got to stop talking.
We are 15 minutes to the top of the hour.
Let me, oh my God, I left, let's see something. Oh, I got it here. I got to read something to you guys. And then I'm going to open this thing for question, but I think, I say to you, there are a lot of things that happen in this business that's hard to believe, but you know, I have a special relationship. I don't know, a unique or special relationship with Bishop Ernest Sutton and Valeria Sutton, and I'm not going to try to expose all that on this call, but we have a special relationship. I'm gonna leave it at that. That developed very quickly, and I believe it's a spiritual relationship. That's again my belief. But Valeria Sutton text me yesterday. Was talking and she told me you got to go read this one scripture, Tyrone. And so this morning I didn't read yesterday. I read this morning. I woke up, and it's also on the back of her book, Rekindle the Passion. But the scripture is Isaiah 61, verse 1. So this morning, of course, I woke up at 7, and I popped. I said, well, let me read this scripture, get my little devotion in. So I read the scripture. I left my Bible upstairs, but I read the scripture, and it said, the Spirit of the Lord God is upon me, because the Lord have anointed me to preach good tidings unto the meek. He have sent me to bind up the brokenhearted, to proclaim liberty to the captives, and the opening of the prison to them that are bound. And the opening of the prison to them that are bound. Let me tell you something, man. I read that verse this morning, and I'm going to tell you why it blew me away. A couple reasons. I got this Bible. I've had it for 17 years. I got all kinds of notes and stuff in there from Proverbs, the Old Testament, New Testament. But I'm not what you call king verse. I'm not a master of the Bible, verse for verse and stuff like that. But I got all kinds of notes in that thing. So, of course, but I don't know it that way. So when I got to look up a verse, I got to go to the table of contents. That's still me right now today. So I go to the table of contents. I open the table of contents. I said book table of contents. And there's Isaiah. Now, watch this. Now, you can take anything you want to take from this. I'm just sharing something with you. I go to Isaiah. Isaiah is circled. Now, believe me, I have no idea when I circled it, why I circled it, the reason no other chapter is circled in the whole table of contents. No other chapter is circled except Isaiah. I went, now that's strange. I said, when did I do that? I don't know. Why did I do that? I don't know. I said, okay. Well, another strange coincidence in the world of Karatbars. I rolled over to Isaiah, and I read that verse. And man, it broke me down. And then I went back and read the whole chapter. And then I went back and read 3 or 4 verses before that chapter. And folks, it messed me up. Because networking has always been my passion. From the time I saw the circles at 20 years old, I was passionate about it. I said, not about selling soap. I was passionate about freeing myself and helping to free other people. I was passionate about it. But it wasn't until I read that verse this morning where I absolutely understood my purpose. I got it. And I'm here. And this is what I do. And this is what I enjoy doing. I enjoy doing it. This is not work for me. I love what I do. I love seeing people's lives change, and I love seeing people get free. Miss Sheila Abram, open up the queue. I've said enough. God bless you. Dream big. Don't let anybody steal your dream. Not going anywhere. If you got any questions, comments, this is your time.
Hello.
Good evening, Miss Valerie Best.
Hey, I just wanted to say that I'm so excited. And the only reason I was able to sleep is because of the after effect of the anesthesia. Okay, and it's still, they said I'm going to be a little groggy and a little sleepy in and out the last couple of days. But that was a powerful message this morning that Miss Sherry Brown and Mr. Willie Brown played. And this was an excellent message. You are crazy excited, Tyrone. Okay? That's why I love you. You're crazy excited. Okay? And yes, I mean, this is the right horse. And all of I love how you put it, because a lot of us get on horses and learn us a little something. They can take us a little ways, but that horse isn't really the best horse to be on, and you got to realize it. And I like what they also said in a reasonable amount of time, because we'll have people that get in, and they got to get money now. They get in money and Friday, they got to get paid $10,000, $15,000, $20,000. Okay. That's just not reasonable, okay? Especially when you consider what, your talents are. That's why we really encourage people, plug in on the calls. If you can't do it in real time, that's why we have a replay, because you can go and listen to the replay at any time. And then, for those of you who can't listen to the replay, then you can actually download it onto whatever device you might have and listen to it later. But you have to do it consistently. We know people that plug in on Monday and then they on Friday, and then they plug in 2 weeks later Monday, and then they wonder why they can't get their business off the ground. Well, that's sort of like taking your horse, and you know your horse needs to take a rest. You know your horse needs to be watered, but you don't do it, and you ride it until it drops. That's some of what we're doing. So I'm very excited because I'm doing much better in recovery and getting better. Very excited, but very excited because what we said is our business is money. We've made lots of good income over the years selling motion pills. Okay, nothing against that, obviously. Okay, but sometimes you gotta have a horse that's a little faster. Simple as that. Okay, and so I'm excited because not just for what we can do for ourselves. Okay, I'm not going to say that, all I care about is everybody else. That's true. I care about other people, but I care about ourselves as well. Okay, they always say in the industry I used to be in the airlines, put your own oxygen mask on first before you put it on your child. The reason for that is if you're trying, of course you're concerned as a caretaker of a mother or father. If you have a child, you want to take care of your child first. So you try to put that mask on your child first, and all of a sudden you can't because you got hypoxia, which means, you just have a lack of oxygen and you can't function properly. So they say put it on you first so you can stay functional and then put it on your child or children. Okay, so I'm very excited. Our products money plug in every day, either on the real-time calls, the pre-calls, or the downloads, okay? We've got back office you can get into, sign up for free, look around. I've never been in anything except Carefies in my life where you can actually get in for free. I mean, even though some of these companies out there make you pay a small amount, you get $29 for your kid or $49 for your startup kit, that's still not free. Ours is free. Free, then you pick your package, and then you go. That's all I've got to say. I'm really excited. I'm amazed that I'm actually still awake. Okay, but as my mama-in-law, Mama Bess, Miss Mama Margaret Bess, Mrs. Mama Margaret Bess would say, just take your nice little country nap. So I took me a little country nap, so I'm raring to go. That's all I got to say. Bye, honey.
Hey, thank you, honey. Thank you very much. Thank you for those words. First caller in queue.
Yes, Mr. Best. Before you go to that first caller, this is Sherry Brown.
Yes, ma'am.
And I'm telling you, what an amazing freedom call tonight. You broke down what the horse is. I'm telling you, man, we have to get off of that dead horse and definitely chase our dream, our freedom, and I just thank God for the Best family. Shout out to your family. My girl, Darlene Best. Yes. I love you guys. Back to you, sir.
Hey, thank you, Miss Sherry Brown. Thank you for the message this morning, folks. I still got off track. I had 3 pages of notes from that 15 minutes this morning, Sherry, and I think I went through half my notes. So I don't know. It's just he covered so much I wanted to just address because I just encourage you to go back and hear that thing again. Bishop Brown dropped some serious knowledge this morning. That 15 minutes is something powerful. So anyway, next person in queue. Thank you, Ms. Brown.
Hey guys, this is Shelby, the building for.
Good evening. Hello.
I really, this morning, it was a really good call for me. It woke me up because I've been riding on a horse. After my brain surgery, my husband had left me and all my friends left, and I was really alone. And you can't hold on to the past and expect to be able to move forward. So just stay fighting and be a warrior.
Hey, thank you.
Y'all have a good night.
Hey, thank you. And you said something right there, man. See, I didn't even address that, man. That's such a... So many of us, we base our future on our past. And we don't even sometimes try something because we failed at something in the past. Or we heard about something in the past. Or, we don't see our future. Or one of the other statements Bishop Barner made this morning, he said, the minute you stop dreaming, you start dying. Now, I'd say something like that. I said, I'd rather chase a dream that never comes true than live life with no dream at all. But he said, the minute you stop dreaming, you start to die. Okay, and he meant die in spirit. You just start to die because you don't have anything to live for. Okay? I believe one of the greatest benefits of grandkids, it gives people who've lost a dream a reason to live because they can live through their grandkids. But I think it's really important for you to have your own dream and a dream for your grandchildren. But it's great to have a dream for yourself and have a dream that maybe you can leave a legacy for your grandchildren. I'm almost getting started again. Next calling cue, Lord.
Hey, good evening, Mr. Bass. Glenn Perkins out of Jackson, Mississippi, sir.
Good evening.
Appreciate the call tonight. You are doing an excellent job as usual. I really enjoyed the information. Like I said, I understand the importance of being in the right vehicle. This has been a fantastic call. Thank you for the information. Have a great night.
Hey, and thank you, Mr. Perkins. Oh, folks, and don't forget now, as soon as we finish this call, for those who want to, it's not a job, we're going to goldrocks.info for the launch party with Miss Tanisha Glaspie. Launch party what's the launch party? It's a fast start training for how to get your business going now. See, there's no lack of information. The only thing required for you to bring the fuel. See, you got the vehicle. The vehicle's called Karatbars, but the vehicle don't work without the fuel. And what's the fuel? What's the fuel to Karatbars? Your dream. Next calling cue.
Beth and Valerie Beth. This is C.C. Mahone calling out of Georgia. Excellent call this evening. I just wanted to say again, thank you for that phone call. I wasn't on a horse. I wasn't thinking about getting on a horse because I was comfortable. I was self-employed, and I didn't even realize that I wasn't dreaming. So I wasn't on a horse. I wasn't going anywhere. I was just going to be comfortable. But thank you, because I started dreaming again. You're never too old to start dreaming, and I can't thank you and Valerie enough for being the two that just didn't quit. Back to you, sir.
Hey, thank you. And that's the key right there. Bishop Barnes said this morning, you can feel like it, you can get tired, you can slow down, but don't quit. You can slow down. It's okay to slow down. Because, life comes in way sometimes it's going to slow you down. Deaths in the family, things happen, things slow you down. But you don't quit. Health issues can slow you down, but you don't quit. You can think about quitting, but just don't quit. Next call in queue, you're live.
Greetings, Mr. Bez. You're fantastic and unique. You're the man. I got stuck in the past, and my mind will always be thinking about what I used to do, and I couldn't come forward with my dream for the now. So I'm more on a horse. I am on a ship, but with many ships to get this job done, and Karatbars is the vehicle. And thanks to you, I don't know, you are a blessing to me. Stay blessed. Have a golden evening, and I love you, and your wife as well. Have a good evening. Thank you.
Hey, love you back. And a special shout out to all the folks on Facebook and all your comments, man. I wish I could just read them all to everybody because a lot of comments coming through on Facebook. And so I thank you guys. Miss Annette Cooley, Kamaya Israel, thank you for your comments. Okay, Raina Shine, thank you. Chris Irvin, thank you guys. And Mr. Larry Bay, I want to be like you when I grow up. I don't know what you're talking about, man. So next call in queue, you're live.
Mr. Bass, how are you?
Outstanding. How are you?
Okay, I'm fine. I have two questions. The first question is, when you have an upline who has reached their goal and they forget about their downline, and it makes me feel like because they have reached their goal that they don't remember to pull you, it's like a chain. Take one step, I pull you up a step. I get to a level, I have to make you get to a level because when I get to that, when you help your downline get to a level, that catapults you to another level.
That's right.
And when they hit, but here's the thing, when they hit their level, they get so comfortable, it's like, well, I've gotten here, now you have to get here, and not try to help you. See, my thing is this, for the love of God that He has put in you and your wife as well as in me, I am going to be a leader that makes a difference in other people's lives. When I climb a ladder, I'm going to pull those who are under me up the ladder with me. and I'm not going to be satisfied until they get to the level where I want them to be where I am. And a lot of leaders don't do that. They get comfortable when they hit goal manager, and they say, well, I made it. But in order to get to goal manager elite, you have to bring the person that's up under you to catapult you to goal elite 1. And I think, which is so bad, because I've been in a lot of multi-level companies to where you get in, they say, okay, this is what you got to do. Here's the map. You're here. Now you need to get to there. And they don't help you at all.
Mm-hmm.
And Karen Barnes is not about that. Karen Barnes is a family. It's about helping people get to the level and changing other people's lives. But I'm having that problem because the accolades of getting to directorship, it's like gold director. It's like, okay, I made it. So now, what are you going to do to make it? Instead of it being a team effort, okay? Because it takes a team to be successful, and it takes a village to raise a child. So what I say to you is, Mr. Best, I met you. I tasted your wife's barbecue. I forgot what it was, but I tasted it, and it was fantastic at the last Let's Go Weekend 8. And I just want to make the difference to let people know that don't forget where you come from.
That's right.
Because there's people that you brought into this company that you need to help elevate. I'm not talking about micromanage or grab them by the hand, but you must duplicate in order for you to grow to the next level, because no matter what effort you put out to get to where you are, you need to duplicate that with your downline to help them get to where they are, because remember, your success is dependent on other success.
Predicate.
You can't just say, I made it here, and then guess what? I made it, so now this is what you need to do to get it.
Let me say this. Let me slow you down. Let me slow you roll for a minute. Let me slow you roll. I feel you. Okay. Okay. Cause we can't be here all night. Let me slow you roll. Okay. I feel you. Let me say this, because you have heard me say before. Whenever you run across somebody networking, and they say well, I've never made any money in that thing. What's my first response is that's because you've never helped anyone else make any money. That's rule number 1. Okay. And that's one of the things I think we teach in Wealth Builders. And I think we've done an outstanding job across the board. I'm not saying there aren't exceptions. Okay. Because we can't make somebody do anything. But our overall philosophy across the board, you can see that spirit exemplified in teams all across Wealth Builders worldwide. Now, I'm not saying every individual. I'm saying in teams all across Wealth Builders worldwide. I said, to lead, you must be out front. So that's number 1. You got to help somebody. Number 2, you've heard me talk even just 2 days ago. I did a stream. I said, why do so many companies get to $1 million, $2 million, $3 million a month and they plateau? Because the leadership get lazy. The leadership don't be in the trenches. The leadership are out there talking to folks. They say, I got my $25,000, $30,000 a month. Hope you can get yours. Now, by the way, wait a minute. Now, I want you to hear me out. That's their right. That's their right. It's not right, but that is their right. They have the right to do it, but it's not the right thing to do. Okay, that's why I'm saying right now, and anybody who's known me and known most people I deal with, I'm always saying, you got to be out there. You got to be available. You got to be accessible. And see, watch this. That's Mr. Harold Sykes' vision, too. That's why this man is always gone. That's why this man has been to what? 3 or 4? I don't know, Mr. Delph, if I can remember. About 4. We had Let's Go Weekend 8. And I think Mr. Harold Sykes has been to 4 or 5 of them. Who does it? That's the CEO that's the CEO of this major corporation taking time out of his day to come to our event and be there eyeball to eyeball so people can see it's real. I go to events, our leadership. This is so you're 100% correct in what you're saying. And this is why I caution people. I said, do not get the big head. I said a little sweeter than that, because you got a pen, because you became gold manager or you became gold director, or forget that for a minute. You start making 10 grand a month and you think you there, because the same people that help you get there, if you want to get to the next level, or better yet, watch this, stay where you are. You better go down in the trenches and help those folks who are just getting started, because they need to look the guy who got free 103 days in the face. They hear Sherry Brown's voice on the call. They need to see her eyeball to eyeball. They need to meet Willie Brown. They need to meet me. They need to meet Valerie. They need to meet all the leadership. If we want this organization to go to 1 million people, which I do, that's not going to happen by being on the telephone and all of a sudden we become a recluse. But watch this. You're going to have leadership that do that. And all you do is make sure you're not one of them. That's all you can do. Okay? And by the way, but what does help mean? Help mean you're available there for people. That's all help mean. Help you just now. I'm not saying you were saying that because you say it very clear. Help don't mean you give them everything. Help mean you're there to support. Help mean you're there for encouragement. Help does not mean you buy their way in. Help does not mean you buy their package. You might do that in some cases. Help don't mean that you carry them. Help don't mean you get them, let them stay in your hotel room. Help don't mean you do everything for them. I tell people, you take one step. In many cases, I take 3. Okay, but some people confuse help with give me something. I want to clear that up too. Because that's not, I get right now 10, 20 phone calls a week where somebody, their interpretation of my help is to send them money. And that's not what I'm about. I've been about teaching people to fish instead of giving people to fish. I learned that very early in my networking career. I can give them something, they learn nothing. But if I let them struggle on their own through the process, through the pressure, struggling on and get there, they learn to grow. They learn to become stronger and teach them how to fish so they never find themselves in that vulnerable situation again. That's how we help people. We help them by helping them change their attitude. We help them by selling them on why they should be a Let's Go weekend. I don't sell gold. I don't sell cryptocurrency, but I sell the heck out of Let's Go weekend because I know that's where their life's going to change. I sell being on the power call. I sell plugging in. I sell being on touching the upline. I sell getting out of the house. I sell using CDs. I sell all the tools. I said these things are important. And this is how you help people. You never give up on anybody. And for God's sake, if you want to continue to grow, you got to continue to help people because this business, Karatbars International, is only as strong an opportunity as it is for the person who just got in today. And when it ceased being a great opportunity for the person that got in today, then the opportunity is dead in the water and we got a dead horse. And what makes the opportunity continue to grow is leadership that's already at 5, 10, 15, 20, 30, 40, 50, $100,000 a month in the trenches, in somebody's face, not lying on the beach calling it a day. You don't hit one of my hot buttons, so don't get me fired up on that, man. I go for an hour, okay? I'm talking to everybody, okay? You're a leader today, you get in, and you got to be there to support. I'm not saying you got to be there for everything. You can't be there for everything. We all got to take a break. We all got to go to sleep, okay? But you got to be, I can't stand, man, my voicemail got full. I'm saying this to all the leaders. I can't stand my voicemail. My voicemail get full. I couldn't figure out how to unload it. Man, I went to AT&T and said, you need to fix my voicemail now. Okay? I said, because I don't ever like people call my voicemail and say, your voicemail is full. I don't care. I want them to hear my voice. And I tell you another little thing. Pet peeve of mine. Call everybody back. Might take me 2 days. Might take me 3 days. But I'm going to keep them that phone until I call them back, even to say hello. And they say, well, my problem's already been solved. I got him. I said, well, I apologize. I'm doing the best I can. I'm still just one person. And you're going to see the difficulty and challenge of that. Somebody called me and said, hey, man, I was trying to reach so-and-so. I said, you got to understand, this person's busy. As your organization grow, you're going to get to the point where you're getting 100 phone calls and 300 texts a day. Miss Tammy Morrison told me that she just spent a week replying to 1,500 emails. That's leadership. Man, you shouldn't fire him up like that. Next call in queue. But he's 1% on the money. Okay? The more you help other people get what they want, the more you're going to get what you want. You got to be there for help other people. I get so excited about the matching bonus, not because I got 200 matching bonuses coming a day. I get so excited because it means 200 plus dual team payouts were paid to somebody on the team. It means somebody got paid. Last week I had 2 days with 500 matching bonuses were paid that day. That means 500 dual team payouts got paid to somebody on 7 generations. And I got people who are crushing this thing like Kevin Thompson, Shelby Thompson, Rodney Roach, and Brian Battle. And they not even the first 7 generations. I don't even see them. Man, the more you help other people succeed, that's why I said we're just getting started, folks. We got to get this thing to 1 million people. And I believe we can do it. Then we can think about getting it to 2, 3 million. I mean, if Facebook can have 2 billion people if Facebook had 2 billion people socializing, please, we can put 10 million people in this thing who want to make some money and change their life. Man, I know it's about 11 o'clock. Let's take 1, 2 more if we can, and then we got to go to the launch party.
Hello, Mr. Benson. Lieutenant Mary Joletta Smith in Jackson, Mississippi. I'm a dreamer, and I'm focused, but I'm not riding a bed out. Let's go, King.
Hey, thank you, Miss Mary Jordan Smith. Thank you. Next call in queue, you're live.
Good evening, Mr. Best. This is Sonia Anthony Townsend in Lansing, Michigan. Thank you so much, sir, for this call. I truly appreciate it. You are truly teaching us what freedom is all about and that it is available to anybody with Karatbars International. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
Have a great evening.
Look, and let's don't forget, I mean, let me say too, what people like Sonia Townsend is doing and Greg McKay is doing up in Michigan. I mean, pioneering a whole state, man, and they're sitting there setting this meeting, they're doing meetings week after week after week. I mean, Ms. Townsend, what you guys been doing at meeting for what, 2-3 years every Saturday? I mean,
yes, it's been definitely over a year, but we have changed it to twice a month now.
See, that's commitment. That's focus. I get always talking, is there a meeting in my city? I say, yes, when you start one. I don't have any leadership in my state. Well, great. You need to be that leader. Okay. We need to stop looking for other people to do the things that we can do ourselves. And what did Bishop Barnes say this morning? You got to start something. You got to start something. You can't start great. You got to start. You got to work at your craft. You got to start something in order for it to become great, in order for you to become great. You got to start wherever you are. Okay, and 5 years go by, you'll be Valerie Smith in Washington, D.C., thousands of people in your organization, but she had to get started first. Okay, I'm going to calm down. Last caller in queue. You are live.
Assalamu alaikum, brother Ty Best. This is Khalito Muhammad from Strong Island, New York.
Wa alaikum salam.
Yes, sir. Listen, I just want to yield my last 20 seconds back to you, brother, because you was firing us up, and I'm enjoying this. Love you. I'm out. Aou.
Hey, thank you.
And Mr.
Yes.
Ty Best, we only had one more person in the queue, so let's just let him in.
Let's do it.
Thank you. Oh, my gosh. Good evening. Mr. Best, this is Evelyn from Newark. And I just want to say I started out the day with leaders or readers. And then when I heard this fantastic fact that we are riding a triple crown, I went back and asked, what horse are you riding? So I just want to say thank you. We're riding the triple crown. Ow.
Ow. No question about it, folks. And look, this is 35 years experience sharing. I wish I could tell you I've seen something better than Carrie. I haven't.
Q&A session is over.
I haven't. I mean, this thing is so powerful. But I said we got the vehicle of a lifetime. But what is the fuel to that vehicle? The fuel to that vehicle is your dreams. That's the fuel. And if you got a small dream, you don't have much fuel. But if you take and have a big, magnificent dream, if you expand that dream, you start thinking about your family first, you start thinking about you. Then your immediate family, then your extended family. You start thinking about your community. You start thinking about all the things that you can do. So money can answer all things. Money is not the key to that, but more money can do a lot of things. When you need money, money is very important. And when you finally get on the other side of money, ask some people in Karatbars who are on the other side of money. But I mean, they got all the money they need to take care of their stuff. They don't stress about money. Something happens, they just go fix it. The car break down, just go fix it. Whatever happens, go fix it. Emergency, just go fix it. You're not worried about this day-to-day stuff that people spend this magnificent brain that God gave us trying to figure out how to keep a roof over their head and how to keep the lights on. You spend more time thinking about that. The greatest creation God ever made, spend more time thinking about that than the birds and the bees and the lions and the trees. They don't spend. I mean, you never see no bears in the woods. So what you think about? Man, I wonder where I'm going to sleep tonight. What I'm going to eat today. Man, they just going to make it happen. Let me get off that, man. Ms. Abram, we are done here, man. Folks, I'm just cranked up. I'm having the time of my life. I thank Mr. Harold Seitz. I thank the staff at Karatbars. I thank all of you. This is a 1% team effort. Everything in Wealth Builders World. I like this. Ty Best and Valerie Best founded Wealth Builders Worldwide. Yeah, we founded a name. But I mean it from the bottom of my heart when I say Wealth Builders Worldwide is you. And it will only be as big or as good as the leadership is because I'm one person. And I'm not under any illusion that my wife and I did this ourselves. What makes Wealth Builders happen is all these teams out there. All these different teams who are doing their thing. Okay, who are making it happen. I said this weekend we got meetings taking place all over the place. Okay, I can only be at one place, Raleigh, North Carolina. but meetings are taking place all over the place, and people are pursuing their own dreams. I encourage you to pursue your own dream. Don't let anybody steal your dream. And in about 3 minutes, we're going to be at goldrocks.info. Let's take a break. Let's make it 5 minutes. We're going to be at goldrocks.info. Miss Tanisha Glaspie going to give us a wonderful launch meeting. I'm going to be there. I'm going to be there. All tired looking stuff, but I'm going to be there. Okay, and whoever else join us on the panel. So, folks, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Abram, once again for all you do. Everybody dream big. And remember, don't let anybody steal your dream. God bless, and to God be the glory. Good night.
Let's go.